Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the number 5 review of series number 12. Series number 12 is Fine Cut Wintergreen. So, for this review, we will be looking at another Pinkerton Tobacco Company product, this time from their Longhorn line. So let's take a look at the packaging. So you have a sticker there on a pretty crappy silver plastic lid, which itself is on a black plastic can. Everything is pretty straightforward. The Fine Cut has a lighter green than the regular version, and also it has this yellow stripe. For reference, this is the regular Longhorn Wintergreen product. Okay, so really from a counter, what you're looking for there is that yellow stripe going underneath. Or if you're not looking for Fine Cut, make sure you note the yellow stripe. All right, so going around to the side, you have the website, which is longhornsnuff.com. There are coupon offers there. Warning label, branding. Note that there is again the yellow stripe. Manufacturer's information, barcode, and more branding. The manufacturer's information. This is a product of the Pinkerton Tobacco Company of Owensboro, Kentucky. All right. Pinkerton is a holding of Swedish Match. Pinkerton is probably best known for Redman chewing tobacco. All right, but they also make Timberwolf, this, and a very short line named Redman. This product is at least 65% domestic tobacco. It does have on the somewhat generic plastic can, but these cans, they are sort of pliable. You can press on them and whatnot. They're not brittle. They don't give me any idea that they're going to crack, and the walls of them don't give in, so it's not a problem cutting the bands. There is a date code for those that care. It is on this one 9 digits and letters long. I do not know what it means. I am not overly worried about it. So I'm going to cut into this because, again, another product that I've never had. It is, if it keeps in line with how all Longhorn products have done, it's a Timberwolf-esque product with a cut that's even worse than Timberwolf's, basically. So, okay, it's got a pretty strong wintergreen off the can. That's what it's looking like. That is it. It does have a significant brownish red tinge in person. It looks fairly consistently cut. The moisture level seems all right. It's not the greatest, but it's what I was expecting. That's what the cut's looking like, and that is the only good thing about these silver lids. So you have shorter and longer strands there, but they're all pretty fine, and they seem consistently intermixed. The can lids, I say, are terrible because the only thing good when it comes to the can lids is at least the cans themselves are fairly sturdy and don't give too much play. I mean, they will bend in if you really press on them, but as far as band cutting goes, and as long as they stay, the can itself stays fairly, the integrity of it stays in form, the lid technically should stay where it's supposed to be, which is on top of the can. But these lids are so... I don't even know what a good word for these lids. I always say they're crappy, but I mean they're for what they're supposed to be doing, they're sort of feeble. They're feeble lids. How about that? Anyway, I'm going to take a pinch of this, or maybe a couple pinches of this, and then I'm going to hit the pause button. Whoop, and the desk just took it. So moisture level's okay, but it's sticking in all the wrong ways, basically. Flavor's pretty good. I'll be back in a minute. And I am back. Okay. I have put this in the first half of this series. If this series is split in two halves and you want to call them tiers, I've put it in the upper tier, but really only because the second half of this series is so ungodly scary that even this makes it into the upper tier. This is, though, by all rights, a third tier product. If premiums are first tier and middle stuff like Timberwolf, Red Seal, or Husky are second tier, then this really is a third tier product. But in this series, this Fine Cut Wintergreen, the third tier is made out of Swisher and CN Smokeless Tobacco Company products. So this really has been bumped up only because of that. Keeping that in mind, the flavor of it is actually not bad. There's nothing shady about the product, okay? It's got a pretty strong wintergreen smell coming off the can, okay? The product is consistently cut. There's no shady background smells. The wintergreen is... it's leaning a little bit sweet, but it's not as sweet as the Grizzly product. It's probably somewhere in line with the Timberwolf. It's a mess of a cut. I mean, it's cut consistently, but it doesn't have good cling. Okay, it's not like that Grizzly product. It's not as fine as the Skull Original product. So it doesn't have the excuse, oh, it's just because it's really, really fine. No, it's not really that fine. It's, you know, it's shorter than Longhorn's long cut, which in itself is sort of a mid cut. But, I mean, so what you have is you have a budget product, but there's nothing shady about it. All right? And that's important because there are budget products out there that I have seriously questioned during reviews putting in my mouth. They're out there. They exist. And I have a bad feeling there's a few of them coming up. So there's nothing shady about it. The nicotine's not going to be as high. It may not even be as high as the Timberwolf product. But, you know, the flavor's all right. It's passable. The cut, for somebody that is versed in using fine cut, it may be all right. I mean, they're not going to have the problems that I have. So, you know, it may be passable. And the stuff's cheap. I mean, it's real cheap. You know, it's so cheap I can almost overlook the lid on this. I mean, the Timberwolf products in my area, the lid is agitates me, to say the least, as you probably noticed already. But this stuff, I think it just breaks $2 with tax involved. Now, I'm in a metropolitan area. My state's not too bad with smokeless tax, but I'm in a metropolitan area. I got county taxes. I even have, I believe, in this township, I think the Wawas are taxed. It's all goofed up. Stuff, I have elevated prices. Not quite to the point of New York City or anything like that. It's not like I'm sitting in Midtown Manhattan, but I mean, it's sort of moving in that direction. So at $1.99, I think this is plus tax. I can't really complain about much with this at that price, as long as the product's not shady, and it isn't. Okay, it's it's not great, but you get what you pay for it. And if you're tight on cash, and a mid-level product like Red Seal is even out of range for you. I mean, if you're at a gas station digging through your car seats for change because you forgot your wallet or something, this will get you by. Okay, I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due. It's a budget product, but you know what? They're not making this out to be anything else but a budget product. So that said, the cut's not the greatest, but somebody versed in fine cut using it daily probably won't notice as much as I do. It comes moist enough. It's staying fairly well formed in the mouth. Now, I did move this around the side. There was a significant burn with this, which I was a little surprised by, actually, because number one, it's Longhorn, and number two, I've been dipping up front all day, and I didn't expect to get that reaction with this. So the flavor's all right. Lean's a little sweet. It's not bad at all. I mean, there's nothing real special about it by any means. Nothing stand out. But, I mean, it's wintergreen. It's obviously wintergreen. It seems to be lasting. Spit's all right. There's not as many floaters as I thought there would be. Besides the mess getting it out of the can, once I got it in my mouth, it seems to be staying together pretty good. Nicotine is going to be lower. I'm all but sure. But you know what? In those really old numbers for the nicotine levels that were 2006, 2007, and then updated for 2012, you'd be surprised what the Longhorn Wintergreen rates at. It rates higher than you would ever think from something in this product line. So the nicotine's there, it's just not as high as other things. There is a burn, flavor's okay, cut's not. Packaging is, at the price, I'm not going to really complain too much about the lids, So that's about it as far as this goes. If you're jammed up, out of the third tier products, this is the one I'd go. Pinkerton goes a little bit awry with their Red Man line. The Red Mans that number one, they don't have a fine cut wintergreen, but the Red Mans that I reviewed, they did have some shady smell aspects that lined up with Swisher products. I would not suggest them to anyone. But the Timberwolf and the Longhorn, if you're hard up, it'll get you by at least. It'll get you down your road to your wallet and the next gas station or whatever. So this has been the review of Longhorn Fine Cut Wintergreen. It's a budget product. It's at budget pricing, and if you have budget expectations, it's all right. Now, this is the 5th review. I'm going to be doing break from here. I have a special one-off review that I'm going to do tomorrow. And I even may take a second day with some news and a chew review, because the second half, with the exception of that Stoker's tub right at the very end, the second half of this is... I should probably just get it over with, but it's pretty, it's giving me pause, let me put it that way, okay? We got a Klondike Decade Derringer kayak and a Silver Creek, and if I survive that, a Stoker's. But I'd like to say hello and thank you to Unholy Tim. Thanks, man. Do check out Berg's Dip Reviews, Winnington Outdoors, Dirty Pat Walsh, Wayside Lee 83, Real Talk Studios, No Bluff Buff, and snoozefreak.com, the channel here on YouTube. I do hope everyone is well, and as always, God bless.